Hi, everybody, and welcome back to another exciting episode of Intuitive Insights. I am your host, Dr. Yolanda Dukes, and today my guest is fellow metaphysician, fellow student, Dr. Cija Ebeling. She is the owner of a private practice called E2 Mind Power, which is located in Colorado Springs. She's also a holistic life counselor who assists clients while they're going through their own spiritual awakening. She helps them to find their true purpose and helps them to become the greatest version of themselves. She and I have a lot in common in this regard. She is also a certified clinical hypnotherapist who helps people to heal from chronic pain by teaching them the hidden language of the body. She customizes the hypnotherapy session for each session, and she's also a past life regressionist. And she's had a very, very interesting experience with what is called frog medicine, Kambo. Now, she is not the provider of it. She's just here to share her very unique experience. And I'm breaking this to you today because I really and truly want to demystify some things that are out there in the world, some things that have been given bad names like drugs. And this is not a drug. And we're going to be discussing this today. Welcome, Cija. How are you today?
Thank you. I'm doing amazing. Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
You are welcome here. So you had an interesting experience with frog medicine. You actually did this. This is exciting. How did this happen for you?
Well, I had a group of friends that I'm part of a spiritual group in town, and they announced that they were doing this Kambo experience for a cleanse. And here I'm thinking, oh, frog medicine. I thought it was like a psychedelic thing, but they assured me that it was not what I was thinking. This was more of a bodily cleanse to get rid of toxins in the body. And honestly, I didn't want to do it after that. But I had a couple friends that were like, oh, I want to do it. So I kind of got dared to participate. And so I did. Along with that, though, they also introduced what's called Sananga drops, which are the eye drops. These were also made in the Amazon. They're supposed to help with glaucoma and cataracts and other eye issues. So I did the Kambo with the Sananga drops as well. And both experiences were quite, I would say, quite overwhelming. And the way they did this is, well, they just gathered a group of a few people because of COVID. They can't have a lot of people in a space. So we met up at a location and we had a Kambo practitioner, which also, I want to point out that Kambo is legal in the United States. It is not regulated by the FDA, but it is fully legal. And there are Kambo practitioners all across the nation. If you just type in Kambo practitioner near me, it'll probably bring you to where you can find one that's close to you so you can have the experience too. But this is definitely a purging experience. And what happens is they, it's different for men and women. So men will get the Kambo on the arm, and the women will usually get it on their ankle. It depends on the practitioner, honestly, and what the person wants.
So this isn't something that you ingest. It's something that is topical.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So there is a dietary plan before this happens. They want you to basically eat as healthy as possible the week before, and typically the week or the 2 days leading up to the experience, they want you to try to be on the plant-based diet or a natural diet without any, processed foods or things that have a high content of GMO. So I did all that. I drank plenty of water. You really need to drink and stay hydrated during this. But you have to fast like 6 hours prior to the experience. And so we did ours first thing in the morning because I didn't want to be all hangry all day. So yeah, definitely we did it at 9 in the morning. And I went with my office is located inside of an apothecary. And so the owner of this store went with me because we are trying to bring more herbal medicine and other experiences to our community, and we wanted to experience this to see if we wanted to maybe host our own Kambo experience within the apothecary as well. So what they do is they basically they burn points on your arm or your ankle, and as that is, it just takes the top two layers off the skin, and this is how they apply the frog medicine. And they do, once they burn the holes, I make it sound so horrible. It is not that. If you've had a tattoo, it is nothing compared to that. This is bearable. It's not the worst part of the experience. Everyone experiences things differently, but I've had some tattoos, so it wasn't that strong for me. But once they burn the areas of the skin, usually they only did 3 points on me, but there was a gentleman that we went with that had 9 points on his arm. They're just kind of up and down the meaty portion of the arm, but mine is on the inside of my ankle, and the other female that I went with, she had hers on the ankle as well. So they burn these, and they basically, when it starts blistering, they wipe off the skin or the blister, so it kind of exposes your body to when they put the Kambo on it, which is basically the frog secretions. They scrape it off of a wooden plank where the medicine is stored, and then they just ball it up and they put it on each point. They do 1 point at a time to help build up, and the experience on that, it gets pretty intense. Not right away. The first point, I didn't feel much of a change. I felt more aware of myself. And I do want to, one thing before I go further, we were required to drink up to 2 liters of water before this happened. So we have cold water in our bellies, or room temperature water in our bellies while this is going on, because what happens is you're basically trying to get your body to purge out all the toxins and just the things that are not meant to stay in your body. So if you are someone that does other curricular activities such as heavy drinking or other drug use, you're probably not going to have a fun time doing this experience. So anyway, sorry, I keep getting off, but so the first point when they applied it to my skin is just being more aware of myself. The second one, this is a time set thing, so the second one was a little bit more awareness, a deeper awareness. You're aware more of your surroundings and what's going on. And by the third point that they put on the skin, I could feel my heart racing a little bit, kind of like I was doing an aerobic exercise. It wasn't beating out of my chest or anything like that. But and then came the overall heat in the body. This is basically getting your toxins just ready to just purge. My face turned red, and sometimes your face will puff up because it's just, you're just getting ready to rid yourself of things that are not meant to be in your body. So they do give us buckets. So the idea is to purge out all those toxins. And depending on how healthy you are, how much you'll purge. My purging, I spit up a little bit, and then I was having a difficult time finishing the purge. I felt it there, but I didn't know how to get it out. So my practitioner had me hold my hands over my head and just breathe deep. And before I knew it, I was just they give us these buckets, and you just purge all that out. It was just basically 2 small purges. And I thought before I went into this, I was going to be purging for an hour. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to be so tired. But that's not, like I said, everybody has a different experience. Mine, I just twice just spit up and then cold water just coming straight out. So it wasn't an uncomfortable purge. And then once that purge happens, your body is so, you just feel so clear, and you just have this, I don't know, you just feel extremely healthy all of a sudden, and you know you're done with the purging. The others experienced a different kind of purge. The other female that was with me, it sounded like she was purging like buckets and buckets of water, but I guess it was just she only purged twice too, but it was a lot more than I did. I didn't have a lot that came out. And then I had another gentleman that came up from out of town, one of my friends, and he didn't purge at all. His experience was more gassy, I should say. So he was kind of purging, but it was just air, basically. No, you might want to go with some friends because there's no judgment there, but it's definitely not a comfortable experience in the beginning, but the effects and the benefits of it later just give you a more awareness about your body. And within maybe I would say 30 minutes of that experience, I was driving home and I was noticing the colors and my body just reacting differently to them. It's like I could hear the colors, or I just felt the colors. It was kind of, I don't know how to describe it other than it was a whole body experience, but not like a psychedelic thing. It was just like, wow, I'm part of that. And maybe it's because I have a spiritual view of things. I put it together like that, but everybody, like I said, they have their own experience, but definitely this one was extremely clarifying. My body has still, this happened past Sunday, and it's Friday now, so I'm still feeling really amazing. I don't have any other bodily issues that I was dealing with before going on still. They say this is supposed to help with addiction, depression. It resets the body basically, and it activates your immune system. And I definitely can feel that in my body. So I definitely would do it again, but maybe next year. I think they want you to wait. If you're going to do it a second time, you got to wait at least 8 weeks in between each session. But I'm going to wait another year because it was pretty intense. So if you are up to something like that and want to purge and cleanse your body, I would definitely recommend it to other people. Uh, there are specific health things that will stop you from having that experience, such as if you have like Ehlers-Danlos syndrome or seizures, heart issues. You definitely have major medical issues. You probably shouldn't do Kambo, but it was definitely experience I would recommend to people that are wanting to get a cleanse and have more clarity in their spiritual work or just their body in general.
It sounds a lot like an ayahuasca journey. Have you had that journey yet?
I have not. I've had other psychedelic journeys with plant medicine, but not ayahuasca. That's probably the next thing I'll probably try. They have a center here in Colorado that does the ayahuasca ceremonies a couple times a year. So,
It's
but with
awesome.
COVID, it's kind of on hold with COVID going on. So we'll see. But I
Yeah.
definitely, a lot of people will do the Kambo before the ayahuasca ceremonies, basically to cleanse and purge your body so you can take in that beautiful plant medicine of ayahuasca.
Definitely. It's funny that when you come to these medicines, that there's a puke bucket involved. Number one, I mean, that tells you a lot right there. Because we were reading the requirements for going into having an ayahuasca ceremony, and we were looking at ourselves going, a puke bucket? It's like, okay, well, what are we going to experience here? Are we going to be terribly ill? And I didn't get sick at all. There really wasn't a lot going on as far as purging for me. It was the spiritual connection that ayahuasca brings. When they say it brings your roots, it really does. My aunt had passed a few months before that, and it was just like this ball of information. It was like she just sent it directly into my heart center. This is how I feel about you. This is how I felt about you the day you were born. This is, how you influenced my life. So it's very emotional. It's very raw and it's very real. And after my aunt came, I had basically the same with my father. It's very spiritual connection, that it wasn't like I was hallucinating or out of my mind. It was just a level of sharing. That's the best way I can put it. It was just this level of heart sharing of, look how much I love you. look at all these hopes, and feeling my father's insecurity about being a father, you
Oh,
know,
wow.
like
Wow.
him showing me in my mind's eye, I see you, how tiny you are, how small you are, and I so want to be a good father for you. I want you to be smart and thoughtful and live a life that you truly want. So all of that, it just brought me to clarity. So what people are talking about are drugs this and drugs that. This is nothing like that. I've had medical induced drugs and medical induced delusions, and this is not that. It's real clarity.
Awesome. Where did you have your experience at?
It's here in Texas. It was a small town called Rocket, Texas.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Yeah. And it was actually a client. I wanted to go to Peru. I was planning a trip to Peru. And I mean, just looking at things, I didn't have any hardcore plans or anything, but just attempting to figure out if we could facilitate this experience for ourselves. And then, the lockdowns happened. So it's like, okay, so there must be another plan for me then. And a client, one of my very first past life regression clients, reached out to me and just texted me and said, have you had this experience? And I went, oh my God. This is where we're going to spend the weekend. So it's a 3-day experience. So you have
Wow.
multiple opportunities to try ayahuasca. And it's such a teeny weeny little amount. And then with the sananga, we have it's not just the ayahuasca. They give you an opportunity to try the rapé, which is the medicine that they blow into your nose, the sananga
Mm-hmm.
for your eyes, which I have a very funny story about, and the maranga, which helps to, cleanse you internally. So of course, we had never been to any of these experiences. This was all very new. We only knew about the ayahuasca. We were not privy to the other plant medicines that were to come along. So, as we're positioning ourselves to take the sananga, laying back and, removing our eyeglasses, we could just kind of hear people screaming and the
It was
screaming was
intense.
closer. And we're just
That's
like,
like
what do we do?
lemon juice in your eyes. That's what it felt like to me. I'm glad you've had that experience too. I don't know anyone else that has had that, so I'm glad that you went through with it too.
Lemon
But
juice
the
and
rapé,
sand.
I didn't do that. What's that?
Lemon juice and sand is what it felt like. And I think
Oh,
at one point I was screaming, oh my God, we paid them to do this to us.
that is
It
funny.
was
But yeah.
sobering. And you know what? And what I realized, what the Sananga did for me was, I mean, my eyesight was just a lot better. It was just like, I mean, nothing psychedelic and nothing weird, just clearer eyesight. I mean, I felt just incredible. My body was alive. It was so full of feeling and emotion and just so connected.
That's another word I would use. Yes, you feel very connected with yourself. Spiritually, body, all, yeah, it's a body, mind, spirit medicine for sure.
Most definitely. So did you have anything else to say about Kambo?
Not, not really. I just, if you want to cleanse and you don't know how, well, this is definitely a good way to get those toxins out pretty quickly.
And
But yeah,
how long was your experience in total?
so we got there about 9 o'clock in the morning and we left about 11. And it didn't necessarily need to be that long, um, but they were doing an experience with it. Uh, they were doing chanting and a sound bath with it as well, and so we were able to experience that and the gong and the drums. It was a very beautiful experience. So it just depends on the practitioner how long they schedule it for, but the actual from start to finish experience was probably less than an hour of the combo and the sananga drops.
That's awesome. And I found
Yeah.
that the other similarity is that ayahuasca is very ceremonial as well. It's not, just a bunch of people gathered in a backyard drinking tea, that there was a lot of
Yeah.
blessing, there was a lot of music, and, a lot of consoling one another, because some of the things are very overpowering. The things that
Mhm.
you're hearing really from the earth in and of itself. You're
Yes.
experiencing spirit on a whole new, very physical level.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's very
they
interesting.
were definitely praying over the medicine, thanking the frogs for the donation, and basically making it a very sacred experience. So definitely, we have to honor that nature and the frogs that allowed us to experience the cleanse.
Oh, I
And they
love
probably do the
that.
same, similar with the ayahuasca, the plant medicine, thanking, Mother Earth and the plant itself.
Yeah, there's a whole ceremony behind that where we go out after, and all the things that we purged up, we bury. We bless it, and we bury it. And it was truly a beautiful experience. It was unique. Um,
Mhm.
I'm thankful that the knowledge is beginning to circulate, so that people will truly begin to demystify and understand what medicines really and truly are. I mean, the things that we find in pill form, the things we find over the counter and that come by prescription. I mean, I'm not here to demonize any of those, but they came from the idea of plant medicines. They've just
Yes.
simply, made them up into new concoctions, but the truer, purer version of what those are truly do come from nature.
Yes.
Most definitely. Well, I want to thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of Intuitive Insights, and help me thank my beautiful and amazing guest, Cija Ebeling, Dr. Cija Ebeling. And you guys don't hesitate to check out what else is going on in the world. Don't hesitate to check out plant medicines. Let spirit be your guide into new areas of opportunity, because there's new ways to make connections. There's new ways of understanding the body. There's new ways of understanding plants. These things were put here to help bring us into new areas of consciousness, to help us to understand that our world really and truly is alive. It is thriving, and it is time to join the great big old party. Thank you guys for tuning in. And next, we'll be talking more about ayahuasca. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you.